Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to Hikmah Path, the place where we return to clarity, to purpose, and to the remembrance of Allah. Let me ask you something that might shake your heart a little. What if the very provision you've been begging Allah for, the money, the relief, the breakthrough, is already on its way? But Allah is first preparing your heart so you don't lose your soul when it arrives. If you've been feeling pressure lately, if bills, responsibilities, or silent worries have been sitting heavy on your chest, then stay with me, because in this video, you're going to learn things that can change the way you see Rizq, Barakah, and the hidden doors Allah opens at the exact moment you least expect. This isn't about hype. This is an Islamic reminder, rooted in truth, that Allah is Ar-Razzaq, the provider. And when He gives, no one can withhold. And when He withholds, it is never without wisdom. So, take a deep breath, make a sincere intention, and listen with your heart, because today, by the permission of Allah, you will walk away with guidance, strength, and a new kind of hope. Rizq is written by Allah, and that truth alone can calm a restless heart. What reaches you was never meant to miss you, and what misses you was never written for you. When you truly believe this, you stop panicking over people, prices, and timing, and you start leaning on the one who controls every door. Allah's decree is perfect, even when your situation feels confusing. But having Rizq written does not mean we abandon effort. Islam teaches balance. You tie your camel, then you trust Allah. You work with excellence, you seek halal means, you plan with wisdom, and you protect your dignity, while knowing that results are not in your hands. Your job is obedience and striving. The outcome belongs to Allah alone. Sometimes Allah delays what you want to increase you, not to punish you. The delay can be a form of mercy, training your patience, cleansing your intentions, and teaching your heart to rely on Him instead of numbers. Many people receive wealth before they are ready, and it becomes a test that breaks them. If Allah is holding something back, it may be because He is saving you. So, keep your actions clean and your heart awake. Ask Allah constantly, because dua is not a last option. It is worship. Keep istighfar on your tongue, keep salah strong, keep your income halal, and keep your intentions sincere. The believer moves forward with hope, not desperation, because hope in Allah is never wasted. And remember this, the most powerful mindset is to do what you can today while leaving tomorrow to Allah. When you strive for halal provision, you are not chasing the dunya. You are fulfilling responsibility with faith. If provision is written for you, it will come in the best form at the best time through the best path by the permission of Allah. Unexpected does not mean magical, and Islam does not teach us to be fooled by fantasies. Sometimes the provision Allah sends looks simple on the outside, but it arrives with perfect timing and deep wisdom. It could be an opportunity, a new client, a refund, a gift, a job offer, or support from a person you never imagined would help you. The surprise is not the event. It's the way Allah opens a door you didn't even see. Often, what you call unexpected is actually the result of Allah placing you on a path long before you noticed it. A skill you learned, a person you met, a lesson you suffered through, a setback that redirected you. These can all become the bridge to relief. Allah connects causes in ways the human mind cannot map. When the moment comes, you realize the story was being written for you all along. At the same time, we must guard our hearts from chasing signs and drama. The believer doesn't need sensational promises to trust Allah. We rely on Quran and Sunnah. Allah provides, Allah tests, Allah elevates, and Allah replaces. So we take means with humility, and we keep our expectations tied to His mercy, not to trends or emotional titles. If you want unexpected provision, live in a way that welcomes Barakah. Keep your dealings honest, your income halal, your prayers consistent, and your tongue moist with remembrance. Do not cut corners. Do not harm others, and do not rush into haram because you feel impatient. What comes through disobedience may look like gain, but it carries loss hidden inside it. So ask Allah for provision that is pure and blessed, and be ready for it with gratitude and responsibility. When Allah gives, He can give quickly, and when He opens a door, no one can close it. The surprise of provision is not a fairy tale. It is a reminder that Allah is near, aware, and fully capable of changing your situation in a single moment. Halal provision is not just about how much you earn, but about what that income does to your life. There is a kind of money that increases your stress, your arguments, and your emptiness. And there is a kind of money that brings calm, stability, and light into your home. When Rizq is halal, it carries barakah, an invisible blessing that makes little feel like enough, and enough feel like peace. Barakah shows itself in quiet ways. It can be the ability to pay bills without panic, the protection from sudden harm, the ease in family relationships, or the sense that your life is held together even when the world feels unstable. Two people can earn the same amount, but only one feels content, because barakah is not a salary, it is a gift from Allah. That is why the believer is careful with every source of income. A small halal earning is better than a large doubtful earning, because what is pure nourishes the heart and supports worship. Haram wealth might look like success, but it can harden the soul, invite anxiety, and pull a person away from remembrance. The believer chooses what pleases Allah, even if it feels slower. If you are asking Allah for financial increase, also ask Him for purity and blessing in it. Say in your heart, "O Allah, give me what is good for me and keep away what will harm my deen." Because the goal is not to become rich in numbers. The goal is to be rich in gratitude, sincerity, and stability. Wealth without barakah can become a burden. And when Allah grants you halal rizq, treat it like an amana. Spend with balance, avoid waste, support your family, give charity, and remember the giver more than the gift. When you live this way, your wealth becomes a means of worship, not a distraction. That is the difference between money that merely exists and money that is truly blessed. Tawakkul is one of the most misunderstood worships, yet it is one of the most powerful. True tawakkul means your heart is attached to Allah while your hands are busy with effort. You do not sit waiting for miracles while ignoring responsibility. You move forward in halal ways, then you place the outcome in the care of the most merciful. Look at the way the believer approaches the day, with intention, discipline, and trust. You apply, you learn, you improve, you show up on time, you do honest work, and you seek excellence. Because Islam loves ihsan, but you don't worship results. If something fails, you don't collapse, because you know Allah is the one who opens and closes doors. Tawakkul also protects you from humiliation. When you rely on people, you become emotionally chained to their opinions and decisions. But when you rely on Allah, you can ask, work, and try without fear, because your dignity comes from knowing your provider is above every boss, customer, and circumstance. You take means, but your heart stays free. A powerful part of tawakkul is making dua while you work. You don't choose between action and prayer, you combine them. You ask Allah for ease, for guidance, for lawful opportunities, and for protection from what will harm you. And you keep istighfar on your tongue, because seeking forgiveness invites openings and relief by Allah's permission. So, if you want Allah to expand your provision, begin with strong tawakkul. Work in halal, be consistent, and keep your heart steady. Do what you can today, leave tomorrow to Allah, and trust His timing, even when you don't understand it. The believer is not careless and the believer is not anxious, because tawakkul is faith in motion. Sometimes the reason provision feels tight is not because Allah is unable to give, but because the heart is carrying burdens that block blessing. Sin does not only harm the akhirah, it can also drain the sweetness of life and weaken barakah in what you already have. When disobedience becomes normal, the soul loses clarity, and a person begins to chase more while feeling less. This is not to make anyone hopeless. because Allah's mercy is greater than our mistakes. But it is to remind us that rizq is not only money, it is ease, protection, contentment, and openings. A person may earn much and still feel constantly under pressure, while another earns less and lives with calm. One difference can be the state of the relationship with Allah. There are sins that directly touch wealth: cheating, lying, injustice in business, consuming haram, harming others, breaking trusts, and dealing unfairly with family. And there are sins that quietly harden the heart: neglecting salah, backbiting, arrogance, and private disobedience that a person thinks no one sees, but Allah sees, and the believer remembers that nothing is hidden from him. The cure begins with sincere tawbah, regret, stopping the sin, and returning to Allah with humility. Make istighfar a daily habit, not only when you feel guilty, but because it polishes the heart. Ask Allah to replace your weakness with strength and your habits with purity. When the heart softens again, you often notice that doors begin to open in ways you did not expect. So, if you feel stuck, don't only blame the economy or people. Look inward with gentleness and courage. Fix what you can, seek forgiveness, return to prayer, and keep your earnings clean. When you repair your connection with Allah, you invite Barakah back into your life. And Barakah can change everything, even before money increases. Sadaqah is one of the most powerful keys to rizq, and it works in a way the dunya cannot understand. The human mind says, if I give, I will have less. But Allah teaches us that giving for His sake is not loss, it is investment. The believer gives not because they are rich, but because they trust the promise of the most generous. Even small charity carries immense weight when it is sincere. A coin given quietly, a meal shared, a family helped, a masjid supported. These are not little to Allah. Sometimes as one act of sadaqah becomes the reason a hardship is lifted, a sickness is removed, or a sudden opportunity appears. The believer may never know what calamity Allah prevented because of that gift. Sadaqah also purifies the heart from greed and fear. When you hold money too tightly, it begins to control you. But when you give, you remember that you are not the owner. You are a caretaker. You train your soul to depend on Allah, not on what is in your pocket, and that spiritual strength is priceless. If giving feels hard right now, that may be the exact moment to give something, even if it is small. Not to show off, not to be dramatic, just quietly, with a sincere intention. Oh Allah, I give this seeking your pleasure and your help. Give within your ability, with wisdom, and with complete trust that Allah sees you. And when Allah replaces what you gave, recognize it and say, Alhamdulillah. Sometimes the replacement comes as money, sometimes as a new connection, sometimes as peace, sometimes as protection from a loss you never saw coming. Sadaqah is not only about increasing wealth, it is about increasing barakah. And with barakah, a person becomes truly enriched. Gratitude is not only a nice attitude in Islam, it is a spiritual force that attracts increase. When you say Alhamdulillah with a present heart, you are acknowledging that every good in your life came from Allah. That recognition is worship, and Allah loves it. A grateful heart becomes a heart that is ready to receive more without becoming arrogant. Many people wait to be grateful until life becomes easy, but the believer learns gratitude inside the struggle. You can be tired and still say Alhamdulillah. You can be waiting and still say Alhamdulillah. Because gratitude is not denying pain, it is seeing Allah's mercy within your reality. Even your ability to make dua is a gift, and even your patience is a form of provision. When gratitude becomes your habit, barakah grows. You begin to notice what you used to ignore: the food you ate, the roof above you, the people who love you, the safety you took for granted, the iman that keeps you returning to Allah. This awareness changes your inner world, and when the inner world changes, your outer world often follows by Allah's permission. Shaitan tries to make you obsessed with what you don't have, because that creates bitterness and impatience. Gratitude breaks that trap. It reminds you that Allah has already been caring for you, even through the moments you thought you were alone. And once you see that Allah has been providing all along, your fear about the future starts to soften. So, train your tongue and heart to gratitude daily. Thank Allah for what you have, and ask Him for what you need without entitlement. Say, "O Allah, make me content with what you have given, and increase me in what is good." Gratitude is not small, it is a door. And when Allah opens a door of increase, no one can close it. Sometimes you are making dua with tears, and you wonder why it has not arrived yet. But a delay is not always a rejection. In Islam, we believe Allah answers in the best way. By giving what you asked, delaying it to a better time, or replacing it with something better for your deen and your life. The believer trusts the wisdom even when the heart is impatient. There are times Allah delays money because He is protecting you. What you think you want might come with temptations you are not ready for, people you are not protected from, or responsibilities that could pull you away from worship. Allah knows what wealth would do to your heart, and sometimes mercy looks like not yet. A delay can be a shield. Allah may also be training you through the waiting. Waiting teaches sincerity. Are you worshipping Allah only for results, or because He is worthy of worship? It teaches patience, discipline, and reliance. It pushes you to refine your character, strengthen your prayer, and clean your intentions. Sometimes the real gift is the person you become before the provision arrives. This is why you should ask Allah not only for rizq, but for guidance in handling it. Say, "O Allah, if it is good for me, bring it closer. And if it is bad for me, turn it away and make me pleased with your decree." The dua is powerful because it is humble. It admits you do not fully know, but Allah fully knows. So don't let delay break your hope. Continue your effort, continue your salah, continue your istighfar, and continue your trust. Allah's timing is not slow, it is perfect. When the answer arrives, you will understand why it could not have come earlier. And when you look back, you will say, "Alhamdulillah, my Lord chose what was best for me." Before you go, take a quiet moment and ask yourself, what is the one lesson your heart needed most today? Now, I want you to choose one single word connected to this reminder. Maybe Rizq, Barakah, Tawakkul, Shukr, Sabr, Istighfar, or Sadaqah, and write that one word in the comments. Let it be your intention and your reminder for the week. If this video benefited you, support it so it can reach more hearts. Please tap YouTube's hype button under the video to give it a boost. This helps smaller creators get discovered and spreads khair to more people. May Allah place barakah in your wealth, your time, and your iman. Jazakum Allahu khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.